Hello everyone, it's Mr. Hutton here. Unfortunately, there's no lessons today. However, there's so much we can do anyway. Most of the booklet we're going to see today we would have done anyway. We're not missing out on a great deal of practical work. However, we are starting our proper projects as soon as possible. Very similar to the ones that you do for your final test. And I want you to get into that mindset that we're not just doing random stuff now that looks good. We're trying to really hone in on our key skills so we're ready for those projects that are coming up. Now, this project was an actual exam project that was delivered to Year 11 2 years ago now. So we're going to go through the process as if it was a real test. And hopefully that will highlight the things that you need to learn better, the gaps in your knowledge, or there's some things that take too long and you think they will be very quick. Those sort of things we're going to sort out now. So when it comes to your exam, and it comes around very quickly, you will be ready. You will be ready. And I want to also introduce all the language that you need to know around the projects and etc. I want you to know now, so you know exactly what's going to happen. Now, first of all, this is called a synoptic project. Now, a synoptic project is really measuring things in the round. So it's not looking like the exam does at your technical knowledge or your knowledge of things. It's more looking at your practical skills and how you can use them, effectively. Now, I've put together this project booklet. So this will run alongside your practical work, and you should see it as being an equal balance. You have to have the knowledge on paper as well as the practical model that you'll make. Now, the topic is to do with a tower crane. Now, a tower crane is a big structure. There's loads of them in London at the moment, and any big building that's being made will have some kind of tower crane. Now, they're built in sections. One section is built on top of another by another crane, so there'll be two cranes, one being built and another crane being assembled as part of the assembly process. Interesting. Now, if we actually talk about the synoptic project itself, there's 5 different objectives, and obviously you need to cover those 5 different objectives. On this page, it goes through what the assessment objective is and the sort of evidence that they're looking for. So have a quick read through, and now join me in a minute. Now, hopefully you've read that through, and you know more or less what we're doing and what is the outline of the course and those objectives. Really important. You may have seen that the practical making is very high in terms of the percentage, but the other things are important. That will be the difference between a merit and a distinction. Now, on this page here, I've gone through the ABC, the really important stages. First of all, your planning and your preparation. You have to do hand-drawn designs, very important. You have to have work on computer, very important. And you have to show your planning. So it's no point launching into making something without doing an effective plan. So we'll be going through that together to start with, but as we go through, you should be more and more independent with your work, and you should be able to make those leaps yourself. As you go through, you need a progress log. So you need to be recording everything you do all the way through the project, and that will give you the distinction in the end. So the preparation of materials, making sure you've got everything you need. Modification, I can use a saw, I can use all these drills and whatever. So not just just having a kind of vague idea of how to use a drill, using it really well. This is how I've done it absolutely perfectly. Joining and the final finish. The final finish in this project will be proving it works. That might be a film that you take of your actual model, etc. And then at the end, you need to reach conclusions, telling people how you've been safe and how you've got to the end point. Okay? Now, next page. Let's go to the next page. This is the project brief. Now I'm going to read it through. So pause the film, read it through, and then I'll explain it to you. This is a project brief. We're making a tower crane, okay? So this has come directly from the exam board. This has not been changed by any way by me. This is what a kind of example of what you would get in your real exam, okay? So you work for a mechanical engineering company that makes cranes, you have to make a model. You're making a model of a crane. Now they've put in a really simple calculation here. You need to lift 12 tons to a height of 5 meters. So again, you should be able to use scale and proportion to scale that down into a model that works. Yeah, so if you can scale it up, you can also scale it down. You're making a model, and I'll be helping with you with the practical side of that. All the equipment's ready to go. As I talked about your portfolio, you need to be documenting all the time things you do. And then there's a little bit of a design criteria there, making sure that you kind of know, your conclusions are good. Now, if we move on, the first thing you need to do is watch this film. Now, this is a film about how to build an actual tower crane. I put it on the PowerPoint. Click the link. It's only 10 minutes, but it's a really clear little film about how that tower crane is going to come together. So have a look at the film. Last task for this lesson is to actually start to understand the different parts of the crane which are absolutely vital in your model making. Okay, so most cranes are the same. This is called a tower crane. There's basically a big mast that's holding a jib which goes and pivots on a central point, and then the pulley wheel takes the things up and down. They're really basic in their design, but they're so effective. Okay, so I've got here the specifications, etc. That's from the internet. It's fairly easy to find out. So read through this sheet and familiarise yourself with the different parts of the crane. So in the lessons, when I'm talking about, right, you need to make your jib. What's a jib? Don't know, etc. Get familiar with the parts. Okay, so hopefully that's been clear to you. If you need to go through, obviously go through this film again if anything isn't. Please watch the film. It's really informative and it really does help you understand what's going on. Next lesson, I'm going to go through the different parts and the drawings that we need to do, and you can do most of them at home. Okay, so I'll see you next time.